country and bless our president. He comes over like a force-ripe mango with no root.
The time is now 12 hours. We will continue with the rebroadcast of the Glenn Lal Show right after your main newscast. Do stay tuned to Kaieteur Radio.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good day. Welcome to your main newscast for Thursday, January 20th, 2022. I'm Kevin Smith.
And I'm Amrita Koshan.
And in your headlines today, Guyanese up ante against oppressive ExxonMobil contract. Protesters demand change and call for leaders to fight for a better deal. Eco Atlantic grabs more shares in suspiciously awarded Kanji block. And Guyana leads region in Cape and CSEC. Meanwhile, opposition knocks government's decision to restrict public testing for COVID-19 and 4-month-old baby among 7 COVID-19 deaths. Get the full details of these stories and more after the break.
Nothing in life is free, but the MyDigiCell app is. You don't need to be on a data plan to use the app. You can conveniently chat with Ruby or an agent for help. Check your account balance, activate a Prime bundle, or gift it to a friend. Send credit. Check the Georgetown and Burpees Bridge schedules. Activate a roaming plan. Play Shake to Win for cool prizes. So don't worry about a data plan, buddy. Download the MyDigiCell app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store today. Digicel, better together.
And now for the news in detail. A protester who took the streets yesterday demanding changes in the oil contracts, which Guyana signed with some of the foreign oil companies, was moved to tears as he called on the government and leaders of Guyana to secure more wealth for households so that their children can be properly fed. Raul Austin, who hails from Section C Sophia, Georgetown, shared that he makes concrete blocks for a living and was robbed recently. Hence, he is unable to provide for his family. Austin said he believes an administration that cares for its people would renegotiate the contract the Guyana government signed with ExxonMobil. He also urged Guyanese to support the protest action. Meanwhile, Malika Clementson, another resident from Georgetown, said it is quite clear that the oil companies are taking advantage of Guyanese. Get the full details in today's Kaieteur News.
And moving on, we now tell you that Eco Atlantic Oil and Gas Limited, one of the smallest players in Guyana's offshore basin, has moved to grab more shares in the highly prospective Kanji block. Yesterday, Eco disclosed that it moved to secure an additional 800,000 common shares in GHI Associates Inc. in return for 1.2 million new common shares in Eco. It should be noted that GHI is a Guyana pure-play deepwater exploration company that was only founded in 2011. In 2014, GHI teamed up with Guyana-based Mid-Atlantic Oil and Gas Inc., which was awarded the Kanji block in 2015, just a few months before regional and general elections were held. Both companies are industry unknowns, had no wherewithal, and zero experience in deep-water drilling. In spite of no track record, GHI and its partner were awarded the block with no signing bonus to the country.
In other news, Samuel Haynes and Zainab Shafi of Queen's College were yesterday named by CXC as the region's top CAPE and CSEC examinations performers respectively, at the 2021 examinations. This is according to a release issued by the Ministry of Education, which stated that Haynes received the CAPE Overall Outstanding Achievement Award, while Shafi received the CSEC Overall Outstanding Achievement Award. Haynes had secured 9 grade 1s at CAPE, while Shafi secured 18 grade 1s and 2 grade 2s. This is not the first time that Guyanese students would have topped the Caribbean at these exams.
Government's decision to restrict persons from getting the PCR COVID-19 test at public health facilities has been criticized as backward by the opposition, even as the Pan American Health Organization has called on countries to ramp up testing, especially now that there has been a surge in the virus. The Ministry of Health announced on Tuesday that it will only provide PCR testing for persons who have been hospitalized and those who have been in environments susceptible to COVID-19 infection. This was revealed Tuesday by Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony. Dr. Anthony explained that the ministry, however, will instead be offering rapid antigen tests to persons who have symptoms. With the rapid spread of the Omicron variant, people have been flocking testing sites across the country over the last few weeks, Dr. Anthony stated. This was because persons were not observing the window period before testing.
In other news, a 4-month-old baby girl from Region 6 is among the country's 7 latest COVID-19 fatalities. This is now the 5th child to succumb to COVID-19 for the year thus far. Health Minister Frank Anthony revealed that since the pandemic started, 15 children who contracted COVID-19 have died. He explained that most of the children had a number of comorbidities. He added that the ministry has launched an investigation into their deaths and that they are currently monitoring the situation. All of the children who passed away from the virus for the year so far are below the age of 7 and are still not yet eligible for a COVID-19 vaccine. The other fatalities reported by the ministry yesterday are that of 3 men and 3 women. As a result of this, Guyana's COVID-19 death toll has moved to 1,108. The time has now moved on to 12 hours 7. We will return with more news after the break.
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues. Immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
Guyana is now a full-fledged oil-producing nation. But how much do you know about this valuable yet finite resource? On our radio program, Guyana's Oil and You, we strike at the heart of every issue with informed views and credible data. The time is now for you to arm yourself with insightful knowledge on your oil wealth.
And now back with more news in detail. A decision made by a 23-year-old man to exchange seats with another passenger on a speedboat bound for Port Kaieteur Region 1 proved to be a fatal one after he was killed by a propeller on Tuesday last. He was identified as Chief Prasad of Jacklow, Upper Pomeroon River, Region 2. Prasad reportedly died during the early evening hours in what is being labeled as a freak accident when the boat, powered by a 200 HP outboard engine, was traveling along the Port Kaieteur River. The boat belonged to a relative of Prasad and was hired by passengers at Mabaruma for a trip to Port Kaieteur. Reports are that while traveling closely along the riverbank, the engine foot struck a piece of wood and it catapulted into the air. The spinning propeller attached to the end chopped Prasad several times to his head, killing him instantly.
And moving on, following a tie between 2 senior executive members of the PNCR at the party's 21st Biennial Delegates Congress held December last year, Christopher Jones has stepped aside to allow for a fresh leader in the being of Mr. Vince Roy Jordan. who scored an equal 381 votes for the position of second vice chairman. Jones, who is also the party's chief whip, made the announcement yesterday in a statement. According to him, the tie in votes for the position was an unprecedented development for the party. However, after lengthy discussions with the leadership, he has decided to step aside. Jones explained that he has already signaled his intent to the PNCR leaders as he is confident that in Jordan's ability to further advance the party's development agenda.
And moving on, we now tell you that relatives of Joseph Bacchus, a taxi driver of Moblissa New Housing Scheme, Susdyke Linden Highway, are currently seeking the assistance of the police to locate him after he has been not heard from or seen for about 3 weeks now. The man's ex-wife, Valentina De Silva, said that Bacchus has not been seen since December 29th, last after informing her that he was going out. The woman related that on that day, she learned that the 61-year-old man was at a shop in the area sometime around 11 hours for a brief moment. We were told that the man had informed the shopkeeper that he was on his way to the city. He was last seen wearing a blue and white checkered shirt with a pair of blue jeans. Anyone who might have seen Joseph Bacchus or knows about his whereabouts is asked to call telephone numbers 687-4475, 628-0508, or the nearest police station.
And moving on, a French-American multinational firm, Technip FMC, which recently landed a multi-million-dollar contract to supply the subsea equipment for ExxonMobil's fourth project in the Sabre block at the Yellowtail development area, is inviting expressions of interest from local companies to supply materials for its planned operations offshore Guyana. According to the company, it is looking for local firms to supply personal protective equipment, safety-related equipment such as absorbent pads, and even workshop tools or equipment. Additionally, Technip FMC is seeking Guyanese to supply maintenance, repair, and operation supplies, as well as companies to provide laundry or cleaning services. The international consultancy group reminded that Technip FMC defines the Yellowtail contract as large, meaning that it is worth between $500 million and $1 billion. The time has now moved on to 12 hours 12. We end today's newscast with the page 7 of the Kaieteur News. The time has passed for silent protest. Guyanese, your wealth is being taken away in front of your very eyes. Get up and stand up for your rights today. It is only cowards who choose to hide behind silence. And with that, we've come to the end of today's News at Noon. I'm Kevin Smith.
And I'm Amrita Koshal.
Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.
On Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Welcome to the National Outlook on Thursday, January 20th. The week is speeding by and so is the month. And as it speeds by, we have to deal with COVID. The virus, every time we think that we have seen the worst of it, we are reminded that we are in the middle of a pandemic. We are in the middle of a plague, what scripture of old used to call a pestilence. In the Middle Ages, they had the Black Death. In the early 20th century, you had Spanish flu. Now we have, in this 21st century, we have COVID-19, the source of which we're still arguing about, but we do know that hundreds of thousands have died in the United States alone. We know we have got some numbers in this country that are frightening. They're alarming, but we cannot be fearful We can be alarmed and we can be troubled, but we cannot be frightened. We've got to do our part. Get vaccinated, keep masked, keep social distancing, do not socialize. You've got to go out, do the compulsory stuff. The market, the supermarket, shopping, if you can avoid that, avoid it. Avoid the crowded spaces. You've got to go to work. You've got to deal with the bus park and the stelling. So we understand that. But let's see if we can understand a few other things here, what's happening with the Omicron. The numbers are 700, 800, 900, 1,000, 1,100, give or take, a dozen or so, a score or so. And I get the feeling that the government could do more. I get the feeling that people have come to the conclusion that, listen, the Omicron is more easy to catch. It's highly contagious, but it's nothing more than a bad case of the flu. So we get complacent. We've dealt with flus before. You have dealt with them. I have dealt with them. And sometimes they really rock us. So, in the minds of a lot of Guyanese, especially vaccinated, unvaccinated, Omicron is a strain of the COVID-19 virus that is manageable. So yes, we've got 700, 800, 900, 1,000 and whatever. On Sunday, I'm taping this program here, so I don't know what the numbers are going to be. We're talking about 1,065 new cases of infected persons. Dr. Zulfikar Box, the emergency medical specialist at the Georgetown Hospital, he said, look, the numbers are going to stick around there, maybe with a little spike here and there, and then they're going to level off and possibly decline towards the end of January, thereabouts. So the end of January looks very far away from now, my fellow Guyanese. It looks very far away from now, when we were talking about 5,000 cases in 1 week, and we're talking about 900 and 1,000 almost daily. And we're still talking about schools open, and we're still talking about curfews being where they are. And I say we could deal with those things a little differently. We're at this place where the education ministry is not speaking to the teachers' union. We've got to talk to one another, because if we don't, we are shooting ourselves in the foot. We are our own worst enemy, and we are not solving anything then. We are winging it, or as the Americans say, we're operating on a wing, one wing and a prayer. So think of a plane with one wing and all of us are praying. That's where we are. So the virus is not as frightening as before, so we're treating it as a case of the bad flu, and we are hoping that the worst will pass. But there's some things that we have to do officially and individually. I appeal to all of my fellow Guyanese, do what is responsible, government and citizens. I'm GHK Lal on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Thank you for listening to the National Outlook.
God bless this country and bless our president. He comes over like a four-stripe mango with no root. Nothing, guys, nothing, uncle, comes out of these people's mouth. you should take lightly or believe. Don't even take it with a pinch of salt. As for Vice President Jagdeo and Ashley Singh, you should turn off your radio and TV when you see them come on. And if you don't believe me, then you can turn off your radio from this station too when I come on. I'm not afraid to say that. What a way, Bernard, to frame the law in a country. You pass the law that says you go to jail if you fail to report what goes in the account and what comes out. But there's no jail time for the misuse, abuse, or thieving the damn oil money. Huh? These guys got to be the best this world produces. Eh? Yeah, man. Yeah, you guys got to be the best. Then your president got enough to stand up and face this nation and say he dealing with transparency and putting the harshest of penalties on people who dealing with your oil money. You know, it reminds me of the IFMAS program, which was acquired by the Ministry of Finance under Ashley Singh, the minister, and President Jagdeo at the time. That IFMAS program had 9 modules, 9 or 7 modules. They install all, including the one that records all the cash coming out the Ministry of Finance. You hear that? All the modules they're installed. But the one that taking out the money out of the Ministry of Finance, they didn't install that one. Yes. The one that recording the money as it go out, uncle. Yeah, man. This reminds you, doesn't this remind you of the oil account? Yes. Yeah, man. All the law, the oil account law, all over again. That's what that IFMAS program reminds us with this new law. You know, you have to report all the money going in the account and all the money coming out the account. But where the money going, you don't have to tell them that. Whose account or which country's money is being transferred in whose bank account, you don't have to tell them that. No. Yeah, man. That's what is happening in this land. And then Ashley Singh had the nerve to hold a press conference and insult the nation with his fancy tongue, trying to kerfuffle people's head with his froth. Uncle and Auntie, after the passing of the oil law, the next day the government sent out a WhatsApp message at 1:48 p.m. to the press, inviting them to a press conference at 2:30 p.m. at the Arthur Chung Conference Center. You hear that? 1:48 p.m. for a 2:30 press conference. How on earth the press get in there? You can't even get a taxi in time. In time.
Especially Christmas season.
Yes. Much less to beat the traffic 2 days before all years. But you gotta ask yourself, how the Chronicle, NCN, and the national radio station was already seated for the 2:30 p.m. press conference. What that tells you, uncle? You think they really want private press? And of course, the state media had to be, you know, they have to be told way in advance to be sitting there. To be sitting there with the government officials to begin their bluff and their fluff. Not true, man? They had to be told way up front. Yeah, man. Lo and behold, uncle, was Ashley Singh, not the president or the prime minister or the vice president, was Ashley Singh and 4 ministers held a press conference in which they cussed down the opposition for being unethical and unruly in Parliament during the passage of that same new ILA. Hear that? They custom the people for being unethical and harsh. Ashley Singh went on at a rate in high spirits, man. Uncle, you have to hear him. I don't have time to play him as to what he said on the new ILA he piloted through Parliament and how important it is for the people of Guyana. He even repeated boldly, Uncle, how people will go to jail if they don't report every cent going in and coming out the account. Same words what President Ali used. He used back the same words in his press conference. But listen to this, Bernard. When he was asked by an independent reporter why no jail time for the abuse or misuse of stealing the oil money, the man's whole spirit changed. You had to see face, how it twitch. It twitch around. And he tell the reporter, in this Grinchy language, you know, that Guyana got laws already to deal with anybody who steal. So why we don't have to, so why? So we don't have to repeat that in the oil law. You know, if I been there, Bernard, I swear to God, no Ashley Singh or any one of we leaders in this land can push things like that in my face without a proper reaction. Ashley Singh and all of you eyes pass every citizen of this country to tell us we already got laws to deal with thieves. Uncle and auntie, you see how these people eyes pass, are you? Every country in this world got laws to deal with thieves. But every country safeguard their oil account with specific laws and jail sentences for anybody who misuse or abuse $1 single of the people's oil money. And you telling we got laws already to deal with thieves? You know, if I had it my way, Ashley Singh, or if I ever get it my way, I would jail some of you without trial. And that is from my heart. I will never forget, because it's unforgivable, Mr. Singh, what some of you have done to this country and the people of this country, and what you guys continuing to do to them. Ghana, Uncle, the same country we're giving you advice not to fail in this sector. You hear me? Specifically pass a law, Uncle, that says a person who misappropriate the oil law, the oil money, person who misappropriate or attempts to defraud or conspires with other person to defraud the Republic in relation to their oil money, uses or attempts to use or conspires with other persons information on the fund or documents relating to the fund for personal benefit or advantage or the personal advantage of other persons, commits an offense, is liable on summary conviction to a fine not less than 500,000 penalty units. That's their people money. Or to a term of imprisonment no less than 15 years or both, fine and jail. It even talk about aiding and abetting in the commission of an offense, Uncle and Auntie, the people law. They say aiding and abetting offense carries a 7-year jail sentence with $250,000 fine. Wheeler didn't even pass. And if you check back on some of the things they did, they should have already been in jail. You hear me, guys? The wheel law that they passed, if you check back on some of the things they did, some of them should have already been in jail. Let me end, I think it's getting too late, by saying to all of you wonderful people, this oil law that they push down with truth will give them the authority to do what they want with it, if you guys sit back and let them. Most importantly, uncle and auntie, the power and authority they have over that account enables them to indebt this country for generations to come. Nigeria leaders have their 200 million citizens, more than half living with $2 a day. Recently they were on their knees and their hands were wide open at the World Bank and the IMF begging for $8 billion US dollar loan for help them fight COVID. Malaysia, ex-prime minister was arrested. His wife, his stepchildren arrested for stealing the people's oil money, leaving Malaysia in over $11 billion debt after only 5 years of setting up the oil fund, that oil account, uncle. $1 billion disappear to Saudi Arabia and they don't know how it meet there. In the case of Guyana, we minister can get jail for not telling us $1 billion sent to Glenlal account in Suriname. But he can get jail for sending the money in my account.
Wow.
May God bless all of you. And may God Almighty watch over your oil money to see whose name and account it going into. I want to begin with a short video of a response our Vice President Jagdeo gave to one of my then reporter after he was asked a question. Could you please play that tape? Listen to this clip carefully, Uncle and Auntie.
Has the government received any guarantee from Exxon and its partners that the parent companies will accept liabilities for any oil spill or natural disaster?
The thing is that you see what this has been an issue in the insurance policy.
Mm-hmm.
So that has been an old, long-standing issue, and you know what the answer is. So you're not going to get a new answer from me now. Right now, it's on the incorporated company. Mm-hmm. But we believe that the liability passes to the parent company. We internally believe that, the way it's written. The thing is that as we move forward in the new licensing arrangement and the new agreement, these things have to be clarified crystal clear.
Oh, when you hear these words and you hear these leaders, sometimes you can only say, oh, what's going on in this land? The reporter asked him, has the government received any guarantee from Exxon and its partners that the parent companies will accept liabilities for any oil spill or natural disaster?
Simple.
Very simple question.
Clear, yes.
Bara Jagdeo said, the thing is that you see what this has been an issue in the insurance policy, so that has been a long outstanding issue. Man, I couldn't understand. I'm just reading what the man says, uncle. I am just reading what you guys understand that answer? No. The kid asked a very simple question. Have you received any guarantee from the parent company whether they will accept liabilities from the oil, from an oil spill or a disaster? Huh? What kind of long-standing issue this man is talking about?
Exactly.
Long-standing issue. This man in the right senses, Miss Harris?
It could never be.
We are talking about insurance to protect this region and all its people. Just the other day, Trinidad said every year they have no less than 5,000 oil spills. And this man talking about long-standing issue. Then he went on to tell the reporter, you know what the answer is? You're not going to get a new answer from me right now. It's on the incorporated company. But we believe that the liability passes to the parent company. You hear that? Huh?
Wow, they believe.
He said, you're not going to get a new answer from me. It's the incorporated company. But we believe the damages will be passed on to the parent company and them go pay. Oh my, this vice president got to be a complete moron, a complete idiot, and the biggest clown this world will ever produce. To tell us it's on the incorporated company, and he believed that the liability will be passed down to the parent company.
Wow.
Guys, he mean you 10-year-old child, what you got? He or she candy money in the pocket? Yes. Them candy money in the pocket will be used if they burn down the neighbor house. And he believe that the neighbor parent gonna pay if he child burn down a house. You ain't got no signed paper, you know. But if you child burn down your neighbor house, the man is saying he believe the child father gonna pay all the expenses to repair or to build back a new house. That's what he telling Guyana. And you ain't even certain. You ain't even certain if the man got money for even build back the step. That is what Jagdeo, this clown, is telling Guyana. When he said that he believed the liability will be taken care of by ExxonMobil, the parent company. ExxonMobil done rob you blind. 600 idle blocks. Already spent $30 billion out there that we ain't check a cent on to now. Give you less than 2% royalty. Something no country on earth ever got. Rob the heck out of all them oil countries around this world. Even them own country, America. And this clown Jagdeo telling us he believe ExxonMobil gonna pick up the bill when an oil spill happens out there without any signed insurance policy. This same clown, what a parroting the sanctity of contract, got the nerve to tell us that we must accept what he believe Exxon will do. Could you play back the tape, man? What he believe Exxon will do. Mr. Brian, please.
Has the government received any guarantee from Exxon and its partners that the parent companies will accept liabilities for any oil spill or natural disaster?
The thing is that you see what this has been an issue in the insurance policy. So that has been a long-standing issue, and you know what the answer is. So you're not going to get a new answer from me now. Right now, it's on the incorporated company. But we believe that the liability passes to the parent company. Internally, we believe that, the way it's written. The thing is that as we move forward in the new licensing arrangement and the new agreement, these things have to be clarified crystal clear.
You hear him again there. You know the incorporated companies who we talking about, Ms. Harris?
Of course, yeah.
The three Exxon subsidiary, we're registering Guyana here.
Exactly.
We're running the operation out there.
That don't have no money.
Exactly, that doesn't have a cent.
Exactly.
Then this clown went further to say, internally we believe that the way it's written, the thing is that as we move forward in the new licensing arrangement and the new agreement, these things have to be clarified crystal clear. Wow. You know what that means? You will not get any insurance from ExxonMobil, parent company. So your livelihood, your future, and the region's future is in the hands of God Almighty, where insurance is concerned from ExxonMobil, parent company. At the end of his answer to the question, Uncle, he said, as we move forward in the new licensing agreement, these things have to be clarified crystal clear. Why not now, Jagdeo? Why not clarify this thing crystal clear now, today, with ExxonMobil and the 600 oil block? What are you hiding? And what are you protecting? What are you getting that you are so highly protective of ExxonMobil? You are protecting their oil blocks, the 600, what I get, when the last only 16. You are protecting their spendings in the billions, telling us that you're disappointed that you can't find people to audit, to check, to verify. You're protecting the 2% contract when that should have changed the first day you guys took office. You're defending the billions being spent on supply boats and helicopters and all the supply centers. You're defending ExxonMobil Gas to Shore project. You're in love with everything ExxonMobil do in this country. Like if ExxonMobil is your living partner and everybody outside ExxonMobil, including us, is stepchildren. Why, man? Huh? Why these things cannot change to benefit the people of this country? Mr. Jagdeo, what are you benefiting personally from ExxonMobil, may I ask? Or what they promise you? That you're not changing these blatant robbery of this country wealth by ExxonMobil? I am still to get an answer to that. And I am sure every Guyanese should be asking this question.
Yes.
Guyana, fellow citizens of this country, if this crap don't change now, we are heading into slavery. And this is not old-time slavery Glenn Lal is talking about. This is modern-day slavery, in which all of you will be watching your wealth disappear before your eyes. A matter of fact, it's already happening by the plane loads and boat loads, but you're not seeing it. You know why? Because you're sleeping too much. And you guys are in love with these corrupt clowns. You're being blinded. You're being blinded of a good life. Every time Jack Dale, who's heading this oil sector, open his mouth, Miss Harris, a frightening story jumps out. As for the opposition, their silence is equally frightening as to what is happening in this country. And as the days go by, it gets even more sickening for this country and the entire region. I feel like dancing tonight, man. Anybody want to dance with me? Miss Harris? Not you, Brian. I'm not dancing with man. I don't dance with men. You know, like I said, when you got 2% leader, what do you expect to get? 2%. What you're receiving as royalty? 2%. Everything I ever receive is 2. Only 2%. We accept 2% from ExxonMobil. One man puts it very nicely. Very, very nicely. He said our leaders is on an oil hustle in Guyana. You hear that, Brian? The man said our leaders are on an oil hustle in Guyana. And I couldn't agree more with that guy. Beautifully said, eh? Yep. Progress, Brian, is impossible without change, you know. And those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. Those are not my words. Those words came from a man named Bradshaw. Very nicely put it. If you can't change, he said progress is impossible without change. And those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. Miss Harris, you think anyone of them will change their mind here? Not the way we see things been happening from the moment Trotman signed that contract. Nope. From the entire coalition, PNC and the AFC, and this PPP, nothing will change. 30 years now, I have not seen any change in this country. And there will be no changes for the next 30 years if these types of 2% leaders are still around. You hear what I said there, Brian?
Yep.
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Brian, do you know we have that little aisle money we just collect from Exxon in a bank account in America? You know that? The money where we got sitting in a bank account in America, man. Yes, once you know. The reason we have it there is to secure it from leaders with sticky fingers and sticky hands. You know it's Christmas, right? You know that, right? Yes. All the oil-producing countries are required to set up such systems to safeguard and protect that money, because it does not only belong to the present crop of people, but to future generations. Am I clear? Yes, thank you. You see the wealth in Guyana, Miss Harris? It does not belong to you and me living now alone, but our unborn grands and great-grands. They have to benefit from it too. If we drill out all the gold and all the oil and spend out everything today, what our generation will live with? What would left for them? Nothing. You understand? Basically nothing they will have. For this reason, the world body recommends that an oil producing country set up this special bank book, this special fund. They call it the NRF. This bank account is to properly manage the oil money. So that is, like I said, so me and you don't eat out all. We must left some for future generations. Yes. Whoever come up with such a brilliant idea must be commended. Most of us in the world today live like that. You guys know that? We get money and we put aside and save some for our children. Some of us even save for our grandchildren and unborn grandchildren. It's the same thing with governments. They must set aside and save for future generations. Are they doing anything now with our gold, our diamond, our bauxite? Yep. Man, the money not even coming fast enough. Hold on. You don't even know what they just be doing with that money. You hear me? Much less put up. We are not even benefiting from that money. Much less put up anything for future generation. I choose to explain this issue to all of you tonight, Ms. Harris, because of a very dangerous situation developing with that little 2% money sitting out there. We carried two stories, one Saturday and the other one Sunday, in the Kaieteur News, in which our Vice President, Bharat Jagdeo, said he is moving to Parliament to change the rules of the game. Man, you don't hear me, man. The man says he's going to Parliament to change the game, the rules of the game. You hear me? He said he wants to remove the 22-member committee looking over the bank book. Yes. Uncle and Auntie, this 22 committee member is made up of civil society, business people, lawyers, EITI member, media people, trade union people, and one people from every region. They even have religious leaders and so on inside. Now he wants to remove that. He wants to ban it, cancel it. He wants full control over the money. He said that system too hard. We would not understand it. He wants to make it more simple for he alone to understand it, uncle. You hear me? He wants to make it simple just because he alone handle the oil sector. Then Mr. Jagdeo went further to say that another 5-member committee who have to oversee how they take out the money and how they use the money. Yes. He said that body what got that oversight of the withdrawal and spending and got no transparency. So basically telling Guyana, nobody can safeguard and spend the money, but he, Bharat Jagdeo, the king of Guyana, and the PPP government. Nobody must see, nobody must have a say, nobody else must advise. Although the international body recommends such a system, it has happened and it's still happening all over the world. You guys understand what I'm saying, man? Jagdeo and the PPP must take control of every cent of the oil money that's sitting out there. Yes, you will wake up one morning and every single cent will disappear. I allow him to take control of it. Uncle and auntie, that money they have out there is from your 2%. And you see how quick Jack Dale set his eyes on that little money? Before he focus on the bigger picture of how we can rake in billions of American dollars. Not a couple millions we have there, billions of American dollars. His 2% brain is set on that 2% money. I am betting my last dollar that the opposition is going to jump up and kick up a big stink over this new development. Any bets? Yeah, they're going to jump in and kick up because Kaieteur News announced it. That's the only time there is fine time to talk. Right? And they will be spending maybe a whole year talking and trying to correct this. But this couple dollar that we got sitting out there, but you wouldn't hear a single word from them about how we can rake in billions from Exxon and the rest of oil people out there. No, they only comment on the things that the media break. When Jack Dale announced that, they didn't see or say anything. It's when Kaieteur News reported it. Then you're going to see how Harman them going to jump on it. This is how the government and opposition behave. They don't see for themselves. When the media point out things to them, then they jump up and open their mouths. All they know to do is fight among themselves. They look at what this one do and what this one get. And they feed. And they feed on that. And they cuss down each other. I read a story yesterday in the Guyana Times. Not read the story, the headline. And I read the first paragraph. And I smiled. They said they're ready to give out the $250,000 to the cane cutters. What a PNC, what a coalition threw out. Look, I wanted to crack up when I read this thing. What a coalition threw out, you know. The cane cutters, they blame the coalition, kick them out, throw them out. And now the PVP going to give them $250. Today, uncle and auntie, today, Parliament resumed. And it was the opposition day to present matters of business in that house. It was led by opposition leader Harman. Uncle, they had the opportunity to take any bill to Parliament or to press the government on matters of national concern and interest. Instead, I am told the opposition went to Parliament with 2 sandwiches in their briefcase and 2 drink, a Coke and a Pepsi. And they ask a couple questions. Yeah, man. This country gotta be a laughing stock. Ms. Harris, instead of going there to lay meaningful bills before the government that they want come into law to benefit Guyana and its people, them ask a couple low-life, nonsensical questions.